This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
Thank you. Put the headphones on him.
Your Honor, certainly, Your Honor. If you allow me just a moment to connect and confirm, please.
Sure.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
All right. Good morning, sir. State your name, please.
Javier Díaz. Javier Díaz.
Javier Diaz.
Mr. Diaz, you're here for initial appearance. Case is 22MM5767. You've been arrested for petty theft. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you.
Your Honor, state didn't convey an offer because it is enhanceable.
Bond is set at $250. You're also currently out on bond for a petty theft that appears to have been filed as a felony in Osceola County. And the court is going to revoke that bond and set it at none. All right. Good luck, sir.
Pero como no tengo fianza.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
Good morning, sir. State your name, please.
Alexi Acosta.
Alex Acosta.
Sir, you're here for initial appearance. Case 22CT1160AE. You've been arrested for a DUI and for driving without a valid driver's license. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Bonds have been set at $500 on count one, $100 on count two. All right. Good luck, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
Good morning, sir. State your name, please.
Daniel Briceño.
Daniel Briceño.
Sir, you're here for initial appearance. Case 22CT4831. You've been arrested for not having a valid Florida driver's license. The bond has been set at $500. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Good luck, sir.
Gracias, buenas tardes.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Your Honor, Eduardo Arabi bonded.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
Good morning, sir. State your name, please.
Luis Alexander Palacios.
Luis Alexander Palacios.
All right, sir, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for the offense of robbery with a deadly weapon. This is case 22CF9842. I will appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. State, you have a position on bond?
Yes, Your Honor, given that this is a first-degree felony that is punishable by life, state's asking that it be held no bond pending an Arthur hearing downtown.
Vince?
Reserve the right to have an Arthur hearing, Your Honor.
All right, sir, I'm gonna stay the bond at none. I've appointed you an attorney. The attorney can file the appropriate motion in front of the judge downtown if you wish to seek a bond.
Your Honor, the only condition state would request would be no contact with the victim while he's in custody.
So order no contact with the victim, no return to the scene, don't possess weapons or firearms.
He has an immigration hold.
And there's also an immigration hold currently. Good luck, sir. Okay. And I believe that's all our interpreter cases. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a good morning.
You too.
In Your Honor, I will waive the appearance. I was, gonna ask for an ROR. He has been deemed incompetent to proceed. However, he has no failures to appear, and the state did not have any objection to an ROR.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender and I'll ROR with the condition that he not return to the Walmart on West Princeton. Morning, sir. Your name, please? Mr. Osanat, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested because you failed to appear for a hearing on August the 19th. The court set bond at none or mental health pretrial release if you qualify. And the public defender is appointed if not previously.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, you said the bond was none
None
or a mental health PT?
or mental health pretrial release if he qualifies.
Okay.
Or do I need to set a bond?
I didn't know because we didn't see a bond initially. It just says mental health PTR.
Okay, so it'll be mental health pretrial release if you qualify.
You don't want to set a bond, just in case?
Usually they just set a bond if he doesn't qualify for the mental health,
Okay,
because he has been deemed incompetent, which is why I believe they did the mental health pretrial release, Your Honor.
okay, then I'll set the bond at $500 for mental health pretrial release if he qualifies, with the condition that he have no contact with the victim.
Your Honor, David Riles is, mental health.
Your Honor, he didn't have any comp concerns, and there was a offer to resolve, so I wanted to see if we can bring him back tomorrow so I can speak to him.
Okay, we'll reset Mr. Rollins for tomorrow.
Madam Clerk, are you ready for the trio or you need to? You wanna go to the arraignments?
Okay, then we can go ahead and start the arraignments. That's what I have on next? Dalby was medical.
Susan? Oh, I will waive and enter a denial, Your Honor.
Okay, so on the VOP, we'll enter a denial and set for a VOP status in Division 81.
October 17th at 9 o'clock in courtroom 6B.
Morning, sir. Your name, please?
My name is Kyle Yarborough, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Yarborough. You're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested, for an arraignment. You've been charged with a DUI. Public defender was previously appointed.
We'll enter denial, Your Honor. I mean, not guilty, sorry.
Enter not guilty plea except for the pretrial division 61.
September twenty-third at 9 o'clock in courtroom 7C.
Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Robert Flores.
Mr. Flores, you're here for an arraignment. You've been charged with a battery. It's domestic related. The public defender was previously appointed to represent you.
And Your Honor, we're gonna enter a plea of not guilty.
Not guilty plea except for the pretrial division 50.
September twenty-third at 9 o'clock in courtroom 4E.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Your name, please?
Danielle Vaughn.
Ms. Vaughn, you're here for an arraignment. You've been charged with trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance, and the public defender was previously appointed to represent you.
And Your Honor, oh, go ahead.
State Dick Van offered Ms. Vaughn of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to the gardens at 486 North OBT, and cost of investigation of $40.52 to Orlando Police Department.
And Ms. Vaughn would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest.
Okay. All right, Ms. Vaughn, I'm being handed a plea form indicating you wish to plead no contest to the offense of trespass, and that the matter would be resolved. You be adjudicated guilty, be given credit for the 32 days you served in jail, be ordered not to return to 486 North Orange Blossom Trail, and I'll give you time to get the cost paid. That'll resolve your case. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Holding up a plea form, it has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Did you have the chance to read, review, and understand it before you signed it?
Yes, sir.
All right, to that charge of trespass on property other than a structure or conveyance, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept your no contest plea. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for the 32 days you served in jail, order you not to return to the gardens, 486 North Orange Blossom Trail. Understand if you return, you've been trespassed, you're just going to be right back here. So just don't go back.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give you 350 days to get the court costs paid and that cost of investigation of $40.52 to the Orlando Police Department. So just short of a year to get it paid. You have 30 days to appeal. It'll be processed and released as to this today.
Thank you.
Good luck. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Alan McCullen.
Mr. McCollin, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a trespass after warning.
Your Honor, State Dick Van offered to Mr. McCollin of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and no return to the link station at 455 North Garland.
And Mr. McCollum would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor. May I approach him?
Yes. So, Mr. McCollin, I'm being handed a plea form indicating you wish to plead no contest to the offense trespass after warning. You'd be adjudicated guilty. You'd be given credit for the 2 days you served in jail. Be ordered not to return to that Link Central Station. And I'll give you time to get the cost paid, and that'll resolve your case. Is that your understanding?
Sir.
Holding up the plea form, it has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir, it is.
Did you have a chance to read, review, and understand the document before you signed it?
Yes, sir.
All right. To that charge of trespass after warning, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for 2 days. You served in jail, order you not to return to the Link Station, 455 North Garland Avenue. I'll give you 350 days to get the cost paid. You have 30 days to appeal. All right, good
Sir,
luck.
Thank you.
No.
Good. You're going home.
Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Dominique McNett.
Ma'am, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for the offense of battery. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond is set at $500. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Shiraz Chopra and that you not return to the 7-Eleven 4305 North Pine Hills Road. Understand if you return, you're gonna get rearrested, you'll be right back here, and odds are you won't be let back out on bond, okay? And as the,
Say, sir, I didn't understand.
okay. So, you've been charged with a battery. Bond is $500. In addition to the bond, I'm ordering that you not have any contact with Shiraz Chopra, that's the manager of the 7-Eleven. Don't return to the 7-Eleven. If you return to the 7-Eleven, expect to get rearrested, come back here, and don't expect to get let back out on a bond. Okay? All right.
Yes, sir, what about the other thing?
Okay, you're also currently out on ROR. Is the state made a filing decision?
No,
Okay.
they have not filed, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll take no action on the out on, it's out on ROR. So I'll take no action on that.
So
All right.
what that mean?
So that means if you're able to post a bond, you can be released.
Oh, so I can go home?
Mm-hmm.
If you post a bond, yes, you can go home.
Okay, thank you.
Just don't go back to the 7-Eleven.
All right, I won't, I promise. Thank you.
Promises, promises. Promises, promises. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Yeah.
Mr. Sim, Sims, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for petty theft and possession of drug paraphernalia. All right. Do you want me to appoint an attorney to represent you in this case, or are you going to hire an attorney?
No.
Which one?
No.
You don't want an attorney at all?
Your Honor, I would ask that we be appointed. He has been deemed incompetent to proceed in both of the out on bond cases. So I just ask that you appoint us to the new law.
Okay. I'll appoint the public defender. Bonds have been set at $500 on each count. I'll take no action on the out on bond. I am going to order that you not return to that Dollar General store. If you go back to the Dollar General store, expect to be back here in jail and don't expect to get back out. All right, good luck. Good morning. Your name, sir?
Morning, still.
Mr. Delk, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for failing to appear at a pretrial conference back on January 14th of this year. And the bond was set at $500.
And Your Honor, there was an offer to resolve of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to 5821 Curry Ford Road. There's a cost of investigation in the amount of $135.19 to the Orlando Police Department. And Mr. Delk would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Delk, I've been handed a plea form indicating you wish to plead no contest to the offense of petty theft, that you be adjudicated guilty, be given credit for the, let's see,
26 days, Your Honor.
how much?
26?
Oh, thank you. 26, you'd be given credit for 26 days. You've served in jail, you've ordered not to return to that store, 5821 Curry Ford Road here in Orlando. I'll give you time to get the costs paid. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Holding up this plea form, it has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, it is, sir.
All right. Did you have the opportunity to read, review, and understand it before you signed it?
Yes, sir.
All right. To that charge of petty theft, how do you plead?
No contest.
No comment.
I'll accept no contest. I'll adjudicate you guilty. I'll give you credit for the 26 days you served in jail, order you not to return to 5821 Curry Ford Road. I'll give you 350 days to get the court cost and that cost investigation to OPD in the amount of $135.19. Get that
Yes,
paid.
Your Honor.
You have 30 days to appeal.
All right, sir.
All right, so you'll be processed and released on this today.
Thank you very much.
Good luck on this case. Good morning, this is Judge Duckworth. Do we have the interpreter on the line?
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Interpreter, what's your name, please?
Stephen with a V.
Okay, I just have a first name, Stephen. Do you have a last name?
Yes, sir. Serrano, Serrano.
Thank you, Mr. Serrano. All right, and have you been sworn in this morning?
I have not.
We swear in Mr. Serrano, please?
Do you swear to translate from Creole to English, English to Creole, testimonies given?
Yes, I still swear.
All right, thank you. All right, sir, please state your name, please.
S'il vous plaît, dis nom completo.
Oui, mon excellence. Non, moi, c'est Ricardo François.
My name is Ricardo Francois.
Mr. Francois, you're here for initial appearance in case 22 CT 3028.
22. Can you repeat the case number, please?
It's 22 CT 3028.
Okay. Oula, pour dossier numéro 2 de CT 3028.
Oui, mon honneur.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you were arrested for failing to appear for a pretrial conference.
Yo,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
yo te arrêté parce que ou pas comparaître pour yon audience.
And bond has been set at $1,000.
Et puis yo te fixé comme pour payer $1,000.
Oui,
I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender, if not previously appointed.
M'a nommé yon défenseur public si yo pot faire ça.
et ma travail sur ça, c'est est-ce que moi calage pour aujourd'hui, juste besoin connaître est-ce que moi calage.
The interpreter is not able to hear the defendant. May I ask you
Oh.
to speak up, please?
Moi besoin connaître est-ce que
Attendez bien.
moi besoin connaître est-ce que est possible, s'il vous plaît, et est-ce que vous calage moi aujourd'hui parce que faut me ka un moyen pour me ka prendre avocat.
Your Honor, I'd like to request, is there a possibility that I can be released today so that I can make arrangements for my legal representation?
If you have a bond of $1,000, if you're able to post that bond, then you'll be released.
Yo te fixé une caution de $1,000. Est-ce que, alors, si vous avez moyen pour capable payer comme ça, $1,000 ça, nous capable laguer.
Oui, oui, mon excellent, oui, mon excellent, moi comprendre, mais est-ce qu'il est possible pour yo bon pour 10%, c'est la possible? Non, parce que moi te gen tan gon bon.
The interpreter just wants to clarify. Pardon, qui ça vous demande, monsieur? Ou gagne une caution, il y aurait la caution, ou gagne une caution de $1,000. Alors, il n'est pas capable de laguer si vous pas payer $1,000 ça yo.
Oui, et dit. Je me comprendre.
I understand.
Okay, good luck, sir. Thank you, Mr. Interpreter.
Bonne chance, monsieur. My pleasure. Thank you for choosing our service. Would you like me to disconnect the call?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I know.
Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Roger Fields.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Mr. Fields, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for failing to appear at your arraignment back on September 29th of last year on charges of battery and assault. Bonds have been set at $1,000 on count one, $500 on count two. All right. Based on your application for the appointment of the public defender, if that number is correct, what you wrote on the application, you make too much money to qualify for the public defender. So I'm not going to appoint the public defender at this time. All right, but you've got bond amounts, so if you're able to, you can bond out.
I don't have a job at the moment.
Okay.
So there's no way that I can pay for an attorney.
Okay, so you're currently not working anymore?
No, I don't have a job.
Okay, because you just wrote down you have what you make weekly. So, okay, so if you're not working, I'll appoint the public defender.
Thank you, sir.
All right, good luck.
Your Honor, Shane White is downtown court.
All right,
I believe she pled to this case today, Your Honor, so I would, I don't know how that works. She was downtown and she
It
actually,
was, per my system, and nothing was updated on the clerk site yet, it looked like, per the notes that the ASA was putting in, that she was actively pleading.
okay,
But I don't know that to be 100% accurate, but that was my indication.
all right, and was that,
she pled, in my system, we closed it out saying she pled,
okay.
in court today.
All right, so you pled. All right, so that case is closed. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Brooke Ross.
Mr. Ross, you're here for an initial appearance. You were arrested for a city ordinance violation of disorderly conduct.
Your Honor, State Day convey an offer to Mr. Ross of an adjudication credit time served.
He would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest.
All right, Mr. Ross handed a plea form indicating you wish to plead no contest to disorderly conduct and to be resolved with an adjudication of guilt. Credit for the 2 days you served in jail, and I'll give you time to get the costs paid. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Holding up a plea form, it has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
The one you just signed.
Yes.
Okay. All right, to that charge of disorderly conduct, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept no contest. I'll adjudicate you guilty. I'll give you credit for 2 days you served in jail. I'll give you 350 days to get the cost paid. You have 30 days to appeal. So you'll be processed and released on this today. Good luck.
Just sign there with a pen.
Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Your name.
Toby Rule.
Mr. Rule, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for, looks like solicitation.
Yes, Your Honor, State Day convey an offer to Mr. Rule of an adjudication of guilt credit time served.
And he would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Rule, I've been handed a plea form indicating you wish to plead no contest to the solicitation misdemeanor, that you be adjudicated guilty, be given credit for the 2 days you served in jail, and I'll give you time to get the cost paid. That will resolve the case. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
All right. Holding up the plea form, it has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Did you have a chance to read, review, and understand it before you signed it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. To that misdemeanor solicitation, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for 2 days, give you 350 days to get the cost paid, and 30 days to appeal. Okay. Good luck.
Okay.
Your Honor, Tyler Swank is mental health.
And I will, Your Honor, can we reset? There's an offer to resolve, and I didn't see any competency in our system.
Okay. Then we'll reset Mr. Swank for tomorrow. Mental health.
Just adjudication credit time. Yes, sir. Mhm.
All right, good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Sam Cherry, sir.
Sir, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for failing to appear at your arraignment on a charge of driving with a suspended license with knowledge.
And the offer from the state was an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and court costs. Mr. Cherry would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Cherry, I've been handed a plea form indicating you wish to plead no contest to the charge driving with a suspended license with knowledge. Be adjudicated guilty, be given credit for 2 days. I'll give you time to get the costs paid, and that would resolve the case. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Holding up a plea form, it has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Did you have a chance to read, review, and understand it before you signed it?
So did.
All right, to that charge of driving with a suspended license with knowledge, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty. I'll give you credit for 2 days. Give you 350 days to get the cost paid. You have 30 days to appeal. So you'll be processed and released on this today.
You need fingerprints.
Yeah, and you have to get fingerprints also. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bonded. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Kenneth Lopez, Your Honor.
Mr. Lopez, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for failing to appear at a plea hearing on a charge of driving with a suspended license with knowledge.
State did convey an offer to Mr. Lopez of an adjudication, credit time served.
Yes,
And he would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Lopez, I'm handed a plea form indicating you wish to plead no contest
Yes, sir.
to the offense of driving with a suspended license with knowledge. And, give me 1 second. Okay. You'd be adjudicated guilty, you'd be given credit for 2 days, plus costs, and I'll give you time to get the costs paid. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Holding up the plea form, it has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
Yes, okay. All right, to that charge of driving with a suspended license with knowledge, how do you plead?
No contest, sir.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty. I'll give you credit for 2 days. You served in jail. Give you 350 days to pay the cost, 30 days to appeal. All right, and we do have to get a set of fingerprints for him also.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Good luck.
That's it. You're welcome. You too.
All right, good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Terrell Millsap.
Mr. Millsap, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for failing to appear at a status hearing on a charge of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. I've been handed a plea form indicating you wish to enter a plea of no contest to that offense. You'd be adjudicated guilty, be given credit for the 2 days you served in jail.
9 days, Your Honor.
Nine days. You'll be given credit for 9 days you served in jail. I'll give you time to get the costs paid. That'll resolve the case. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Holding up this plea form, your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
To that charge of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for 9 days. You served in jail. Give you 350 days to pay the cost, 30 days to appeal. So you'll be processed and released on this today.
Your Honor, Brent, he bonded.
Hey, good luck.
Thank you so much.
Brent bonded, thank you. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Nicholas Agostino.
Mr. Agostino, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for tampering with a witness. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. The bond's been set at $1,000. In addition, I'm going to order that you have no contact with the victim in this case. All right. Good luck, sir. Morning. Your name, please?
Rock Allen.
Mr. Allen, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for the offenses of battery, criminal mischief over $1,000, and criminal mischief under or equal to $200. Okay. All right. Based on your application for the appointment of the public defender, you make too much money to qualify for the public defender. On the battery, the bond set at $150. On the criminal mischief, bond is set at $5,000, and on the criminal mischief, second count is $150. In addition, I'm going to order that you not return to Universal Studios. All right. Good luck, sir. Basin bonded. Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Celeste Bell.
Ms. Bell, you're here for initial appearance. All right, you've been arrested for failing to appear at a case management conference back in June on charges possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving with suspended license. All right. Bonds have been set at none. Okay. And I'll appoint the public defender if not previously appointed. All right. Good luck, ma'am.
I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Branscombe will, I'll appoint the public defender. I'll stay the bonds. Count 1, 1,000, count 2, 1,000, count 3, 500, count 4, 500. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Arusha Brown.
Ms. Brown, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for failing to appear at your pretrial conference back in June on charges of petty theft with 2 prior convictions and resisting merchandise recovery. The bonds have been set at none, and I'll appoint the public defender.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Your name, please? What's your name, please?
Elvis Contreras.
All right, sir, you're here for initial appearance. All right, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You were arrested for grand theft. And I guess it's criminal conspiracy to commit the grand theft. Bond set at $2,500 on count 1. I'm going to ROR you on count 2. I am going to order that you not return to the Nike store on International Drive. All right, good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please? Mr. Copeland, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for criminal mischief, more than $1,000. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. The bond set at $1,000. In addition, I'm going to order that you not return to the Chili's restaurant on East Colonial Drive.
Your Honor, I would also ask for a no contact with the victim, Mr. Hutzel.
Yeah, no contact with any,
Felony. What kind of
I believe it was a vehicle, Your Honor.
oh, okay.
It's a criminal.
Yeah, no victim contact.
It just shows me that it's a felony. Money? Does he qualify now? It showed me that, Your Honor, that he wasn't screened. Could we do the bond or pretrial release if he qualifies?
That's fine.
Thank you. So they'll come see you.
That's fine.
No.
Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Afternoon, Faniel.
Mr. Faneuil, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for failing to appear at your pretrial conference back on January 22nd of 2020 on charges of battery by strangulation and battery, domestic violence related. The bonds have been set at none, and I'll appoint the public defender if not previously appointed. All right, good luck, sir. Morning, your name, sir? What's your name?
Keon Flax.
Mr. Flax, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond is set at $2,500, and I'm going to order that you have no contact with the victim and that you not return to 20 East Central Avenue. All right, good luck. Possess no weapons or firearms. Morning, your name, sir?
Garcia Antonio. Garcia Diaz.
All right, Mr. Garcia Diaz, you're here for initial appearance. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance, obtaining goods with a credit card of another, more than $300, fraudulent use of credit cards, and petty theft. Bonds have been stayed at $3,500 on count 1, $1,000 each on counts 2 and 3, and $250 on count 4. In return, order that you not return to the scene where you were arrested. All right. All right. And I'll appoint the public defender. Good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Michael Grant.
Mr. Grant, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for use of an anti-shoplifting inventory control device. 2 counts of that. One is use of, one is possession of. Then 2 counts of petty theft. Bond has been set at $1,000 on count 1, $150 on count 2, $500 on count 3, and $150 on count 4. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm also going to order that you not return to the Millennium Mall, including Macy's. All right. Good luck.
Your Honor, Toys Jones bonded.
Jones bonded. Thank you. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Brandon Alexander Knox.
Mr. Knox, you're here for initial appearance. All right. You've been arrested for failing to appear at your pretrial conference back in May of this year.
I was incarcerated at the time, sir.
Okay. The charge is 2 counts of aggravated battery, law enforcement officer, or aggravated battery with deadly weapon, law enforcement officer, count of driving with license suspended or revoked as habitual offender, and aggravated fleeing or attempting to elude. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond's been set at none, so you've got an attorney. They can file the motion with the judge in Division 10 and have that judge consider, and then to show if you were in fact incarcerated at the time. They'll address that. But I'm not addressing it here today.
Perfect.
Okay? Good luck, sir. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Eric Trendley.
All right, Mr. Tranley, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for trafficking in cannabis in excess of 25 pounds or 300 plants, smuggling marijuana into the state, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of cannabis over 20 grams, possession with intent to sell or deliver. All right. Bonds, because you're out of state, the bonds are doubled, so the bond on count one is set at $200,000. Count two at $10,000, count three at $2,000, count four at $2,000, count five at $2,000. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Good luck, sir.
Here you go, sorry. 'Cause I wrote the wrong one.
Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Sarah Marquez.
Ms. Marquez, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and battery. The bonds have been set at $2,500 on count one, $500 on count two. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to order that you have no contact with the victim, that you possess no weapons or firearms. All right, good luck.
Yeah,
Your Honor, I do believe one of the victims does reside at the same location.
Okay. All right, ma'am, if, I've ordered you to have no contact with the victim. If one of the victims, if you share a residence, meaning you live at the same address, if you do, you're gonna have to live somewhere else because you can't have contact with the victim. So you can return to the residence one time with law enforcement escorting you to get your personal belongings. Don't go back there once, or don't go back there alone. You can go back once, but you have to be with law enforcement, okay?
Your Honor, any objection to,
I see she's got no history. If she qualified, I don't know that with that charge that,
no, Your Honor, I'm asking if you would, consider reducing the count one to, 1,000, only because my client can't afford that bond and she has no criminal history. She can't afford the 2,500, but she can't afford 1,000 on count one and the 500 on count two.
what's the state's position on that?
Our state's only concern is the use of the weapon. However, state will leave it within your discretion.
I'll reduce the bond to $1,000 on count one. I'll state at 500 on count two, with those other conditions of absolutely no contact with the victim, and you have to live separately from the victim.
Yes, sir.
Possess no weapons or firearms. All right. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Miles Oliver.
Mr. Oliver, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for possessing a counterfeit license plate. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. And we got a drug case that does not appear to have been filed on yet. All right, so the bond's been set at $2,500 on the charge.
Sir.
All right, good luck. No action on the auto bond. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Mr. Ramos Perez.
Sir, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for trafficking in methamphetamine, more than 28 grams with a weapon, possession of methamphetamine with a weapon, possession with methamphetamine with intent to sell or distribute, possession of drug paraphernalia, and a public order crimes. On count one, what's your position on bond on count one?
Your Honor, count one is a first-degree felony that is punishable by life. So at this time, state's requesting that it stay at no bond pending an Arthur hearing downtown.
Okay. All right. I'll appoint the public defender defense.
We reserve the right to have an Arthur hearing, Your Honor, in trial division.
All right, so I'm going to stay the bond on count one at none. Count two and three, the bonds are set at $15,000 each. Count four, the bond's set at 25. Count five, I'll ROR you on that. So I've appointed you an attorney, and the attorney can file the appropriate motion if you want to get a bond. That's in Division 11. All right, good luck, sir. All right, good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Chad Roberts.
Mr. Roberts, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for sale and delivery of fentanyl and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. I'll appoint the public defender. Bond set at $15,000 on count 1 and $150 on count 2. Good luck. Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Cecilia Rowland.
Ms. Rowland, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for battery on a law enforcement officer and trespass after warning. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Bond has been set at $2,500 on count 1 and $500 on count 2. In addition, I'm going to order that you not return to the scene. All right, good luck.
And I will waive the appearance, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the public defender. Bond will be stated at $1,000. No contact with the victim. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Travis Shealy.
Mr. Shealy, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for sale and delivery of cocaine within 1,000 feet of a child care facility and sale and delivery of cocaine. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. The bond has been set at $10,000 on count 1, $7,500 on count 2. In addition, order you not to return to the scene, no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no weapons or firearms.
Your Honor, the out of bond has been filed and it's the exact same charge. Just it would ask that you revoke.
Okay. All right. Defense?
What?
It's a warrant. I was just double checking them to see the dates of the,
Yeah, it's, this is, occurred, allegation is it occurred on or about August 19th.
of this year, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay.
Their allegation was January 20th.
So,
Yes, Your Honor.
so Mr. Shealy, I'm going to revoke the bond that you're currently out on and set it at none. Okay.
From January.
Morning, ma'am. Your name, please?
Kayla Stewart.
Ms. Stewart, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for failing to appear at a status hearing back in July on a charge of aggravated fleeing or attempting to elude. Bond has been set at none. I'll appoint the public defender if not previously appointed.
Thank you.
All right, good luck, ma'am.
So, okay, I was in the hospital having my baby.
And I will waive, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the public defender. Failures to appear, bond will be stated none. Morning, sir. Your name, please? What's your name?
Last name Toomer.
Mr. Toomer, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for possession of MDMA. Bond set at $1,000. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please? What's your name, please?
Sor Angel Velez.
Thank you, Mr. Velez. You're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance. I'll appoint the public defender. Bond is set at $3,500. Order you to have no contact with the victim. All right, good luck, sir. Good morning. Your name, sir?
Wavius Drill, Washington.
Mr. Washington, you're here for initial appearance in case 22 CF 9593. The bondsman actually got more than one case. There's a 9573. You got a couple of counts. Looks like two counts. A criminal mischief and resisting without. The bondsman endorsed the bond. So at this time, if you're able to, you can rebond out. The bonds will be stated 1,000 on count 1 and 100 on count 2. And I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in these cases. Good morning, sir. State your name, please.
Marcus White.
Mr. White, you're here for initial
Honor.
appearance.
Your Honor, I will waive the reading.
And I'll appoint the office of the public defender. And state you have a position on bond.
Your Honor, I believe he is entitled to bond on both counts. Count 1 is being an F1 and count 2 being an F2. So we just ask that you take into account that he was in custodial care of the alleged victim in this case. And ask that you take that into account when setting his bond, also given the gravity of the nature of the charges. So we just ask that you take that into account when setting his bond.
And, Your Honor, I just ask that you consider the fact that I only see one conviction back in 2007. No failures to appear, been in the area for over a year. So I just ask that you consider all those factors when setting the bond in this case.
I'll set the bond on count 1 at $25,000. Count 2 at $5,000. Order no contact with the victim.
So call a bail bond minus 10%.
Your Honor, I believe he's been terminated from Aspire, but state we still ask for a no return.
Okay, and also no return to the scene. Your former employer. Good luck. Okay, let's call her.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter. I have not been sworn this morning, Your Honor.
All right, swear in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to translate from English to Spanish, Spanish to English, testimonies given?
I do. Once again, for the record, Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter.
Thank you.
Take.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
Good morning, sir. State your name, please.
Eduardo Arce Vasquez.
Eduardo Arce Vasquez.
Eduardo Arce Vasquez.
Sir, you're here for initial appearance in case 22 5772 AO. You've been arrested for a domestic violence battery. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender. And ma'am, do you need an interpreter?
No, I don't.
Okay, and your name is, please?
My name is Lauren Sanchez.
Ms. Sanchez, I see you're listed as the victim. If Mr. Arce Vasquez is released, do you want to have contact with him, or do you want him to stay away from you?
I want him to stay away from me.
State, do you have any questions for Ms. Sanchez?
No, Your Honor. However, DCF was also contacted.
Okay.
No questions, Your Honor. I would ask for pretrial release. It appears he does qualify.
Looks like okay. All right, so what I'll do is I'll release you on pretrial release with the condition that you have absolutely no contact with Lauren Sanchez, that you maintain a separate residence from her. You can return to the shared residence one time, but you have to be escorted by law enforcement. You're not to go back there alone. You're not to have contact with her. You're not to possess weapons or firearms, consume alcohol or illegal drugs, or to comply with any orders of the Department of Children and Families. Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, Jose Morales is medical.
I will waive the appearance. He doesn't have a victim. And I would just ask for pretrial release, Your Honor. He does qualify.
State what's your position.
Say there's no objection, Your Honor.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender and release him on pretrial release with the condition that he have no contact with the victim, maintain a separate residence. I see that they reside out of state, but I'm going to order that they maintain separate residence, no contact.
Your Honor, he may need, I guess, a one-time return to the Airbnb to gather his belongings with law enforcement. That's the only thing I could think of, because they were at an Airbnb.
He can return one time with law enforcement escorting him.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
All right, good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Jose Manuel Romero.
Jose Manuel Romero.
All right, sir, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested pursuant to a warrant for 2 counts of battery by domestic related. Based on your affidavit for the application for the public defender, you make too much money to qualify for the public defender, so I'm not going to appoint the public defender at this time. State, do you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, state would just ask for a reasonable bond. It appears all of the history is out of state. However, it seems mostly to be drug and larceny related. So state would just ask for some reasonable bond.
I'll set the bonds at $500 on each count. I'll order no contact with the victim. It's Juana Severino. And it appears they live separate, so good luck, sir.
Your Honor, if the interpreter could respectfully request the case number for this last defendant, please.
Yes, I apologize. That's 21 MM 7454.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Morning, ma'am. State your name, please.
Sí. Zaida Bernaza Ordóñez.
Zaira Bernaza Ordóñez.
All right, ma'am, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a battery, it's domestic related. At this time, are you asking me to appoint an attorney to represent you in this case, or are you going to hire an attorney, ma'am?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, do you want me to appoint an attorney to represent you? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll appoint the Office of the Public
Sí.
Defender.
Yes.
Okay. And state, do you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, state we just asked for a reasonable bond and the CF was contacted.
Then, Your Honor, I would just ask for a $500 bond.
I'll set the bond at $500. I'm going to order no contact with McKindy St. Germain. Maintain a separate residence. You can return one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. You're not to go back there alone, not to have contact with the victim. Cooperate with any orders of the Department of Children and Families. Good luck, ma'am.
Your Honor, if the interpreter could request the case number for this last defendant, please.
Yes, it's 22 MM 5770.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm this defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
All right, good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Buenos días. Alex Edgardo Martínez Sánchez. Alex Martínez Sánchez.
Good morning, Alex Martinez Sanchez.
Mr. Sanchez, you're here for initial appearance. This is case 22 MM 1747. You were arrested for a violation of probation. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. You were on probation for domestic violence battery. Allegations that you violated are that you committed the new offense of a domestic violence battery, and that you're late on supervision payments. The bond was set at none. Good luck, sir. I think that's all we have, Mr. Interpreter.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good morning.
Thank you, too. And who is,
Good morning, Your Honor.
good morning.
For the record, Amir Ladan on behalf of Timothy Heyer.
Higher, okay. That's not in order.
Misdemeanor domestic, Your Honor.
Would it be possible for us to approach briefly, Judge?
Sure. Still gotta find, I'll find it. Oh, misdemeanors, okay. Here it is. There's a, yeah, it's already there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, good morning, sir. State your name, please. Mr. Heyer, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for battery, domestic related, and represented by counsel. And can we swear in the witness, please?
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name for the record.
Courtney Heyer.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am, if the, in your relationship, you're married to each other?
Yes.
If the, Mr. Heyer's released, do you want to have contact with him, or do you want him to stay away from you?
Contact is okay.
Excuse me?
Yes, we can have contact.
Okay.
I can proffer, Your Honor, I've spoken with his wife. She's sick and has a bit of a difficult time speaking, but she'd like to have no hostile contact in place. They do have 2 separate residences. She's going to reside at their condo on the coast while they kind of work some things out, and she's agreed to that. Am I stating that correctly, ma'am?
Yes.
All right, State, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any additional questions or anything?
I have no additional questions, Your Honor. We're asking for a $500 bond. In this case, my client has no criminal history.
Okay. State?
There's no objection, Your Honor.
All right, I'll set the bond at $500. I'll order no hostile contact.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
That's all I have before the court. May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Have a
Thank you,
good day.
Judge.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just say your name.
Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Joshua Conley.
Mr. Conley, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for trespass on property other than a structure conveyance.
And Your Honor, the offer from the state was an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, no return to the Wawa located at 5820 Edgewater Drive. Mr. Connolly would like to accept and enter a plea of no contest.
All right, Mr. Conley, I've been handed a plea form indicating you wish to plead no contest to the trespass. You be adjudicated guilty, be given credit for the 3 days you've served in jail, ordered not to return to that address on Edgewater, and I give you time to get the cost paid, and that would resolve your case. Is that your understanding?
Yeah.
Holding up the plea form, has your name at the top. Is that your signature at the bottom? Is that your signature at the bottom?
The paper you signed.
Did you have the opportunity to read, review, and understand the document before you signed it?
Yep.
Okay. All right, to that trespass, how do you plead? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
I'll accept that. I'll adjudicate you guilty, give you credit for 3 days. I'll give you 350 days to get the cost paid. I am going to order that you not return to 5820 Edgewater Drive. Understand that if they see you back there, you're just going to be back here, okay? All right, you've got 30 days to appeal. You'll be processed and released today.
Your Honor, Anthony Harris is medical.
And Your Honor, I will waive the appearance. I would just ask that on the out on bond, you take no action. He has been deemed incompetent to proceed in 2021 CF 7879 AO, which is a recent eval that he just had. So I just ask that you take no action in the out on bond and set bonds on the new law.
State, what's your position?
I don't believe it's the same location, Your Honor, so state has no objection.
So the bonds have already been set at count 1, 500, count 2, 1,500, count 3, 2,500, with the order not to return to the scene. I'll take no action on the out on bond. Public defenders appointed. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Mikowski.
Are you Ryan Mikowski?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Mikowski, you're here for initial appearance.
Your Honor, this was a PC reset from yesterday. State was not able to obtain an initial affidavit, so state would just ask that it be ROR'd.
Okay. All right, sir, I'm going to ROR you on the charge. All right. Good luck.
Yes, ma'am.
morning, sir. Your name, please?
DeMarcus Anthony.
Mr. Anthony, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for aggravated battery and battery, domestic related. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State, do you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, he is entitled to a bond. However, state would just point your attention to his criminal history. It appears he has several violent arrests, also being ag bats with deadly weapons, DV, robbery of firearm, ag assault with a deadly weapon. So state would just ask that you take that into account when setting his bond.
Your Honor, I just ask that you take into account his last criminal conviction was actually a petty theft in 2016. He has no failures to appear and community ties when setting the bond.
All right, I'm going to set the bond on count one at $2,500, count two at $500. I'm going to order that you have absolutely no contact with Taquanda Frazier. Maintain, and I guess, and her mother, Alicia Grant. Maintain a separate.
She's stepping into the booth.
Okay.
Look straight ahead, sir. And put your hands to your side.
All right, you need to take a deep breath and calm down. All right, it's not good. It doesn't help the situation if you get upset. Okay, can we swear in the witness, please?
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
Taquanda Frazier.
All right, Ms. Frazier, if Mr. Anthony's released, do you want to have contact with him or do you want him to stay away from you?
We can have contact as long as it's not hostile.
Okay, and do you all reside together?
Yes.
Okay, and it's your intent to continue to reside together?
We were actually working on plans so we can actually get out of the same apartment,
Okay.
but he can stay there for now.
State, do you have any questions for Ms. Frazier?
One, ma'am, has anything like this ever happened before?
Not to that point that got that serious.
Has there ever been law enforcement called over a dispute between the two of you?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Has law enforcement ever been called regarding a dispute between the two of you?
Yes.
Approximately how long ago would you say that was?
When this incident occurred like a month ago, last month, on like the 17th, I believe.
All right, that's all I have, Your Honor.
No questions from defense, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. State, what's your position?
Your Honor, state would just ask that you stay what you're already doing. I believe there's 2 incidences between this defendant and this victim. So given the allegations within the affidavit, state would just ask that you stay the orders that you're already doing.
Defense?
Your Honor, I would just ask for a no hostile contact and to maintain separate residence. As stated, they are planning on residing separately. So I would just ask for a no hostile contact but maintain separate residence.
All right, I will, I'll allow contact, but it'll be no hostile contact, but I am going to require that you do reside separately. So if she's residing at that South Rio Grande apartment, you're going to have to live somewhere else. You can return there with law enforcement escorting you to get your personal belongings. Don't go back there alone. That's just for the initial move out. But otherwise, you're to reside separately. You can otherwise have contact with her. It just can't be hostile contact. Okay? All right. Thank you, ma'am. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Coleman.
Mr. Coleman, you're here for initial appearance. All right. You've been arrested for battery by strangulation, false imprisonment, tampering with a witness, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and resisting an officer without violence. Okay, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. State, you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, he is entitled to a bond on all these charges, and I don't believe we have a victim here to testify. However, state would just bring your attention to, I believe this was the second call at the same residence, on the same day. And he does seem to have prior violent, convictions and prior VOP showing inability to comply with court orders, and prior gun charges. So state would just ask that you take that into account when setting his bonds.
Defense?
I would just ask for a reasonable bond, Your Honor.
Based on the history, it looks like he was just released on a robbery charge earlier this year. I'm gonna set the bond on count one at, $25,000. Count two will be 1,000, count three 1,000, count four 1,000, count five at 500. I'm gonna order that you have absolutely no contact with the victim, that you maintain a separate residence from the victim.
That was a misdemeanor felony.
Yeah, it's a misdemeanor.
Christina Mills is the supervisor.
Doesn't appear that the addresses don't match. So, if you have to get personal belongings, you can,
I do. Okay. He's gonna give
you can return to the
what law
residence
enforcement?
one time with law enforcement escorting you to get the personal belongings, but otherwise you're not to maintain the same residence or have any contact with her whatsoever. Also possess no weapons or firearms. All right. Good luck, ma'am, or excuse me.
Because you just got off for a real violent offense. You have to call the attorney.
Morning, sir, your name, please?
Austin Donnelly?
Mr. Donnelly, you're here for initial appearance. Yeah, you were arrested for aggravated battery. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you. State, you have a position on bond.
Your Honor, state would just ask for a reasonable bond. I believe all of his prior battery charges are different victims.
Yeah. So this appears to be his brother's defense. Do you have a,
Just a reasonable bond, Your Honor.
I'll set the bond at $2,500. I am going to order that you have no contact with your brother, Dane Donnelly.
Yes, Your Honor.
Maintain a separate residence, possess no weapons or firearms, consume no alcohol or illegal drugs. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Vernon Etheridge.
Mr. Etheridge, you're here for initial appearance. Been arrested for tampering with a witness to hinder communication of law enforcement and battery. It's domestic related. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. State, you have a position on bond?
Just a reasonable bond, Your Honor. He had a recent failure to appear in 2019.
Defense?
I would just ask for a reasonable bond, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to set the bond on count one at 1,000, count two at 500. I am going to order you have no contact with Ms. Houston. Maintain a separate residence. So if she's residing at that Foxhound Court address, you're going to have to live somewhere else. You can return there one time with law enforcement escorting you, but you're not to go back there alone. You're not to have any contact with her. All right, good luck. Sure. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Jorge Hernandez.
Mr. Hernandez, you're here for initial appearance. Been arrested for battery, also for obstructing justice. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you, and let's swear in the witness, please.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
Daisy Hernandez.
All right, Ms. Hernandez, if Mr. Hernandez is released, do you want to have contact with him or do you want him to stay away from you?
Yeah, he can have contact.
And is it your intent, or you'll currently reside together?
Yes.
And do you want to continue to reside together?
Yes.
Are you in fear of him?
No.
All right, State, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor. However, I believe DCF was contacted and he does qualify for PTR and state has no objection.
Defense?
I would just ask for pretrial release, Your Honor.
All right, I'll release you on pretrial release with the conditions that you have no hostile contact with Daisy Hernandez. Also that I'm going to order that you not consume any alcohol or illegal drugs while this matter is pending.
Understood.
All right. Good luck. Thank you, ma'am. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Alan McClutchy.
Mr. McClutchy, you're here for initial appearance. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You've been arrested for aggravated assault with a firearm, possession of ammunition by a convicted felon, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of cannabis with intent to distribute, and battery. It's domestic related. All right, and let's swear in the witness.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Aaliyah Marie Pritchard.
All right, ma'am, I see you're listed as the victim. If Mr. McClutchy is released, do you want to have contact with him or do you want him to stay away from you?
At this moment, I don't think he should have contact with me. At this moment, he'd endanger my child and I, so no.
Okay. And were y'all residing together at the time?
Yes, he was staying there for a minute.
Okay. All right, State, do you have any questions for Ms. Pritchett?
Has anything like this ever happened before?
Not with me, but with this past, not with me.
Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Does the defense have any questions for Ms. Pritchett?
No, Your Honor.
State, do you have a position on bond? Thank you, ma'am.
Your Honor, he is entitled to bond on all 4 counts. State would just bring your attention that he does have several prior convictions and arrests also with firearms, and the firearm was located at the scene. So state would ask that you take that into account when setting his bond.
Defense?
Your Honor, I just point to the fact that it looks like the last conviction was in 2012 for driving while license suspended. He has no failures to appear and been in the area for over a year when setting the bond.
All right, after reviewing the affidavit and the history, I'm going to set the bond on count 1 at $5,000, count 2 at $1,000, count 3 at $1,000, count 4 at $1,000, count 5 at $500. I'm going to order that you have absolutely no contact with the victim, that you maintain a separate residence from her. You can return to the residence one time with law enforcement to get your personal belongings. You're not to go back there alone. You're not to have any contact with her. Also order that you not possess any weapons or firearms or consume alcohol or illegal drugs while this matter is pending. Good luck, sir. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Kevin Perry.
Mr. Perry, you're here for initial appearance. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You've been arrested for aggravated assault and battery, both domestic related. We swear in the witness, please.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Please state your name for the record.
Ashley Coates.
All right, Ms. Coates, I see you're listed as the victim. If Mr. Perry's released in this matter, do you want to have contact with him or do you want him to stay away from you?
Contact is fine. I'm fine with it.
And were y'all residing together?
Yeah, we are.
And is it your intent to continue to reside together?
Yeah, that's my intent.
State, do you have any questions for Ms. Coates?
Ma'am, has anything like this ever happened before?
No, it's not happened before.
Okay, that's all I have, Your Honor.
Vince, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, State, you have a position on bond?
Your Honor, I believe a different story was told to law enforcement that this is a normal occurrence between this victim and this defendant, that he points his firearm at her during arguments. So state, we just ask that you take that into account when setting his bond.
Okay, defense?
Your Honor, he has, I don't see any domestic violence history or convictions, so I just ask that you consider that and the fact that he has no failures to appear, community ties when setting the bond.
All right, I'm gonna set the bond on, count one at $1,500, count two at $500. I'll order that you have no hostile contact with Ms. Coates, that you possess no weapons or firearms, and consume no alcohol or illegal drugs while this matters, while the matter's pending. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
She's entertaining herself, though. She's having a great.
Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Eric Williams.
Mr. Williams, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for battery by strangulation. And according to your application for the public defender, you make, I think with one qualifies for that amount. Oh, no, that's every 2 weeks, okay. Yeah, it appears you make too much money for the public defender, so I'm not gonna appoint the public defender at this time. State, do you have a position on bond?
Yeah, Your Honor, just bring your attention, he does have a 2021 BAT DV that was no bail due to the victim being unwilling to prosecute, and the victim was Ms. Brownlow, which I believe is the same victim, but I'm trying to double check. I'm not sure, Your Honor, as the affidavit doesn't say the victim's name, it just refers to her as the victim.
All right. I'll set the bond at $2,500. I am gonna order that you have absolutely no contact with the victim. It appears he already resides separately, but no contact with her. Possess no weapons or firearms, and comply with any orders of the Department of Children and Families. All right, good luck, sir.
Tisha.
Hmm?
What's the bond?
1,500.
Morning, your name, sir?
Gillette.
Mr. Gillette, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a battery. It's domestic related. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. State, you have a position on bond.
Your Honor, he qualifies for PTR, state has no objection.
Defense?
I would ask for pretrial release, Your Honor.
Okay. I'll release you on pretrial release with the condition that you have no contact with Victoria Gillette. Maintain a separate residence from her. So if she's residing at that Julio Lane, if that's a shared address, you're gonna have to live somewhere else. You can return there one time with law enforcement, get your personal belongings. You're not to go back there alone. You're not to have contact with her. Consume no alcohol or illegal drugs, possess no weapons or firearms. All right, good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Morning, your name, sir? Which name, please?
Johnny Jackson, sir.
Mr. Jackson, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a battery. It's domestic related. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Could we swear in the witness?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name for the record.
Shamika Pullings.
All right, Ms. Pullings, I see you're listed as a victim. If Mr. Jackson's released, do you want to have contact with him, or do you want him to stay away from you?
Contact is fine.
And do you all reside together?
Yes.
And is it your intent to continue to reside together?
Yes.
All right, State, do you have any questions for Ms. Pullings?
No, Your Honor.
And what's your position on bond?
Your Honor, so we just asked for a reasonable bond.
Okay. Any objection to pretrial release?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Defense?
I would ask for pretrial release, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Jackson, I'll release you on pretrial release with the condition that you have no hostile contact with Ms. Pullings. You get upset, just got to turn around and walk the other way, okay?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You know,
You said she's medical? Mental health, okay. Yes. Is there somebody here on the Melanie Jones Munford case? Yes? All right, can we swear in the witnesses, please?
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you state your name for the record?
Christopher Munford.
And your name, ma'am?
A. Johnson.
All right, I see Mr. Christopher Mumford, you're listed as the victim in the case. She is currently in, it looks like there are mental health issues, and that appears to be what's, I read the charging affidavit, given a condition. So at this point, if she's released, do you want to have contact with her, or do you want her to reside somewhere else?
I would like to have contact, and just for the record, I did submit an ex parte to the courthouse yesterday morning before the incident. But
You submitted what, a Baker Act?
yes,
Okay, okay. All right, so would be a different judge that would review that application. Probably Judge Marquez will probably be reviewing that, or may have already reviewed it, may have already signed an order, I don't know. Okay, so if she's released, do you want her to come home?
yes.
Okay. All right, State, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, I am going to appoint the public defender. Do you have any questions?
no, Your Honor.
Okay. State, do you have an objection to me setting a bond?
No, Your Honor, State would ask for a bond or for her to be screened for mental health pretrial release, as it seems she has no criminal history and would likely benefit her.
I'll set the bond at $500 or mental health pretrial release if she qualifies, with the conditions that she have no hostile contact with anybody in her family, that she take all medication as prescribed, possess no weapons or firearms, consume no alcohol or unprescribed medication. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're gonna have to pay him. He's gonna give you one. For anything else.
All right, good morning, sir. State your name, please.
Yeah. Say your name.
State your name.
Last name.
Mr. Mr. Lara, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested pursuant to a warrant for stalking and criminal mischief. Okay. I'll appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. State, do you have a position on bond?
Yes, Your Honor, state was just asked that you set a reasonable bond, taking into account that he did have a 2021 non-arrest bat DV, victim being the same victim, Miss Therian. He also had a 2021 non-arrest stalking victim also being Miss Therian. However, both were no bail due to the victim being unwilling to prosecute.
Okay. Defense?
I would just ask for a reasonable bond, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna set the bond at $2,000. On the criminal mischief, I'll reduce that bond to $500. I am gonna order that you have absolutely no contact with Ariana Therian, that you not go within 1,000 feet of her residence. It's on 136 East Muriel Street. Okay, no contact means no direct, no indirect. Certainly no driving by the house or any of the other things. Understand that if you violate the court's order and you have contact with her, expect to be held on no bond and just sit in jail till the matter is resolved, okay? All right, good luck, sir. Morning, sir. Your name, please? What's your name, please?
Garcia.
Mr. Garcia, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested pursuant, this is an on-view arrest for violation of probation. Okay, let's see, on probation for grand theft. Motor vehicle. Okay, it is a warrant. Okay. All right, allegations that you violated are that you failed to remain or complete your alcohol and drug treatment, failed to pay your costs, both core costs and cost of supervision. Bond was set at $2,500. If you're able to, you can bond out, and ideally, if you were able to bond out, if you can get back into the program, probably be in your best interest. You were also arrested for driving with a suspended license with knowledge. Okay. I'll reduce that bond to $100. And I'll appoint, well, looks like you don't. Okay. What you wrote down as your take-home income, it's that amount every 2 weeks. Is that accurate? Okay. All right. Based on that, with $3,000 a month, one is too much. One dependent. Hmm? It's good? Okay, all right. I'll appoint the public defender in both cases to represent you. All right.
So he has 3 cases, Your Honor.
Oh, you have 2. Okay, hold on. 9, 3, 6, 7, 8. It's the same case. It's the same case. So the on view, I'll ROR you on the warrant. That bond has been set, and then we've got the new case is the driving with suspended license. So you've got bonds. If you're able to bond out, you can bond out. All right. Good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please.
Emmanuel Marty.
Mr. Marty, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for a violation of probation. You're on probation for burglary, and allegations that you violated are that you refused the probation officer's request to enter the home, and the judge set the bond at none, and I'll appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. All right. Good luck, sir. Morning, sir. Your name, please? Mr. Penland, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a violation of probation. You were on probation for, looks like, vehicular homicide. Allegations that you violated are that you failed to report to your probation officer as directed in the state of Washington, and that you committed a new offense of hit and run in Washington State also. Bond has been set at none. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
Jace Peters.
Mr. Peters, you're here for initial appearance. You've been arrested for a violation of probation. You were on probation for reckless driving. Allegations that you violated your probation are that you committed a new law offense of, looks like fleeing or attempting to elude, driving with suspended license, obstructing an officer. That's out of Marion County back in March. And the second, resisting an officer without violence, possession of methamphetamine, and possession of drug paraphernalia, also out of Marion County. The bond is set at none. I'll appoint the, well, let's see. That amount that you indicate currently, is that your weekly take-home pay?
Yes.
Okay. All right, based on that, you make too much to qualify for the public defender, so I'm not gonna appoint the public defender at this time. The bond stayed at none, so, you need to try to contact an attorney to hire an attorney to assist you with the matter, okay? Good luck. Morning, sir. Your name, please?
RBS Tarver.
Mr. Tarver, you're here for initial appearance. You were arrested for a violation of probation. This appears to be an on-view violation. You were on probation for fraudulent use of personal identification information, a couple counts of grand theft, another count of fraudulent use of identification, and another grand theft. All right, and the on-view is based on a new arrest for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and false imprisonment here in Orange County. It occurred on August 18th, so the bond's going to be set at, or stayed at none on the on-view violation. I'll appoint the public defender. All right, good luck. All right, State, are you ready on your 33-day motions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, first one I've got is 22 CF 8565 Briolin Estevez Santana.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Second is 22 CF 7746 Johnny Johnson.
Granted, it was no billed.
Granted. Got 22 CF 8599 Ricardo Terrell Brown.
Deny, oh, wait,
It's denied.
I put deny, but I have a different answer in 1 second. Granted, notice of non-filing. Where did I put deny?
That'll be granted. Got Stephen Richard Joseph Michael, 22 CF 8175.
Denied and information was filed.
That'll be denied. So I've got 22 CF 8597 Jalen Leon Curtis.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
That'll be granted. 22 MM 4802 Courtney Go Lockwood.
Denied and information was filed.
Denied. 22 CF 6780 Douglas Keenan Jr.
Granted, notice of non-filing.
Granted. 22 CF 7268, Dwayne Alfred Philip Weber.
Denied and information was filed.
That'll be denied. 22 CF 8582, LaShonda Erica Jones.
Granted, it was no billed.
Be granted. Treshawn Littles, 22 CF 8075.
Granted, notice non-filing.
Granted. And I've got
Mr. Littles has 2 cases.
I've got another Treshawn Daquan Littles. I've got 2 of them.
It should be the 8075.
Oh, I'm sorry, the 7097 is the, assume that's the same person. I think they're at,
Yes, Your Honor, both of them are granted for Mr. Littles.
okay. So, granted. We're in recess until 11 o'clock.
Your Honor, I thought there should be one more, Mr. Williams. It was a private defense attorney.
I think, did y'all file an information in that case?
We did.
I think that's what.
They withdrew it?
Yeah,
Okay.
they just withdrew it.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, you were arrested on a violation of probation warrant issued by Judge Nix Walker. And there is no bond set in your case. Does Mr. Duda have a court hearing upcoming?
VOP arraignment, August 30th, 9 a.m., quorum 5A.
What is the date today?
Day is the 25th, I believe.
All right, so this was a technical VOP?
Okay. Sir, this is what you're going to have to address with Judge Nix Walker, okay?
All right, because they told me not to return to the medical center.
Sir, you have, you'll be seeing Judge Nix Walker, and the Public Defender's Office has been appointed to represent you, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Let me get the interpreter on the line.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Laura Bretaña, Spanish interpreter, previously sworn.
Good afternoon. I have first appearances today from the Osceola County Jail. We have 3 individuals who need your assistance. The first is Christian Diaz Correa, 22MM1933. Good afternoon, sir.
Buenas tardes, señor.
You've been arrested, sir, in this case for misdemeanor battery, domestic violence.
Señor, en este caso usted fue puesto bajo arresto por una falta, agresión física por violencia doméstica.
There is probable cause to support the arrest.
Existen indicios de criminalidad para apoyar el arresto.
I do not have a victim here in the courtroom today.
Aquí en la sala no hay una víctima presente para este caso.
So your bond in this case, sir, is going to be set at $2,000.
Así que entonces, señor, la fianza que se le concede en este caso es de $2,000.
Conditions of bond are you may not have any contact with Rebecca Quiles Rivera.
Como condición de la fianza se le prohíbe todo tipo de contacto con Rebeca Quiles Rivera.
You must maintain a separate residence from Ms. Quiles Rivera.
Se le prohíbe la convivencia con la señora Quiles Rivera.
May not return to 2720 Camaro Drive in Kissimmee.
Se le prohíbe regresar al 2720 Camaro Drive en Kissimmee.
You may return there one time with law enforcement in order to obtain personal belongings.
Podrá regresar en una ocasión acompañado de las autoridades para recoger sus pertenencias.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de todo tipo de armas y armas de fuego.
The bond in 22 CF 2429 is revoked on the basis of this probable cause, and you will be held without bond in that case.
En cuanto al caso 22 CF 2429, la fianza que se había concedido se revoca debido a que existen indicios de criminalidad en la causa presente y se impone prisión preventiva.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Juan Fiallo Alvarez, 22 MM 1934. Good afternoon, sir.
Buenas tardes, señor. Good afternoon.
Sir, you were arrested for disorderly conduct, and there is probable cause to support the arrest.
Señor, usted fue puesto bajo arresto por disturbios públicos. Existen indicios de criminalidad para apoyar el arresto.
You do qualify for direct pretrial release.
Usted cumple con los requisitos para la libertad provisional.
So I'm going to grant non-monetary pretrial release with the special condition that you not return to Mama Romano's at 3821 Pleasant Hill Road.
Así que entonces le voy a conceder la libertad bajo el programa de libertad provisional sin tener que prestar fianza. La condición es que se le prohíbe regresar a Mamas Romanos en el 3821 Pleasant Drive. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
Then we have Alexander Ramos Crespo. These are two cases, 22 CF 2470 and 22 CF 2203. Officer Jenkins, what is the other legal constraint referenced on the information sheet?
Agente Jenkins, le pregunto, ¿cuál es a qué es el otro problema legal al que se hace referencia aquí? Él tiene un caso abierto en el condado de Polk por agresión física, violencia doméstica.
All right, I have no authority over that bond.
Muy bien, entonces yo no tengo autoridad alguna sobre esa fianza.
Sir, in case number 22 CF 2203, you were arrested on 3 charges.
Señor, en cuanto al caso 22 CF 2203, tiene 3 cargos.
You were arrested on count 1 for violation of a pretrial release. Let me see exactly how they worded that. Pretrial release condition in a domestic violence case.
Cargo número 1, haber incumplido con una de las condiciones del programa de libertad provisional en un caso de violencia doméstica.
In count 2, you were arrested for aggravated stalking, domestic violence.
Cargo número 2, acecho agravado, violencia doméstica.
Count 3, you were arrested for installation of a GPS device.
Y el cargo número 3, usted fue arrestado por haber instalado un monitor GPS.
There is probable cause, as was also found by the emergency duty judge.
Existen indicios de criminalidad, esto lo ha determinado el juez que se encontraba de turno.
On count 1, I'm going to set your bond at $10,000.
La fianza del cargo número 1 son $10,000.
On count 2, I'm going to set your bond at $50,000.
Cargo número 2, $50,000.
And count 3, the bond is already set at $5,000.
Cargo número 3, ya se había establecido la fianza, $5,000.
Conditions of bond, you may not possess any weapons or firearms.
Como condición de esta fianza se le prohíbe la tenencia de todo tipo de armas y armas de fuego.
You may not have any contact with Diane Gonzalez.
Se le prohíbe todo tipo de contacto con Diane González.
That means you cannot be within 500 feet of her or her place of business or her home or anywhere else she is known to frequent.
Eso significa que usted no se puede acercar a ella en una distancia menor de 500 pies, ni al hogar de ella, ni a su lugar de empleo, ni a ningún otro lugar que ella frecuente y sea conocido.
You may not have contact with her directly or through a third person or through any electronic or other correspondence means.
Se le prohíbe el contacto con ella, ya bien sea de manera directa, a través de terceras personas o a través de medios electrónicos.
In case number 2022 CF 2470, you were charged with possession of cocaine with intent to sell, manufacture, or deliver.
En cuanto al caso 22CF2470, se le acusa de tenencia de cocaína con la intención de vender, manufacturar o entregar.
Your bond in that case is set at $7,500.
La fianza en ese caso son $7,500.
And you may not possess or use any drugs or narcotics without a valid prescription.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia y uso de drogas o narcóticos sin receta.
And you must take any prescribed medication as prescribed.
Cualquier medicamento recetado tendrá que consumirlo según le fue indicado.
All right, thank you, sir.
And Judge,
Gracias, señor.
you're finding probable cause on that case?
Yes, there is probable cause. Thank you, Mr. Paul. There is probable cause for that arrest.
Su señoría, ¿ya ha determinado usted que existen indicios de criminalidad para el arresto? Sí, licenciada, sí. Existen indicios de criminalidad.
All right, is there anyone else who needs the assistance of the interpreter?
¿Alguien más necesita los servicios del intérprete al español?
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Thank you, Madam Interpreter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, our next individual is Kinzer Abando.
Can you repeat that name, Your Honor?
Kinzer Obando is what's O-B-A-N-D-O. A-B-A-N-D-O.
I see it, thank you.
Okay, sure. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, you were arrested on a warrant out of Columbia County. It's on a 2019 court case. I can't tell offhand what date the warrant was issued, so it may be the original warrant. There is a $2,000 bond that was set by Judge Coleman there. If you don't post bond, you'll be transported to Columbia County where terms of release can be addressed, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Mark Etheridge, 22 MM1885. All right, good afternoon, Mr. Etheridge.
Good afternoon, sir.
So you were arrested on a warrant issued by another judge. There are 3 charges: battery, dating violence, robbery by sudden snatching, and petty theft. There is probable cause, as was found by the emergency duty judge. Don't have a witness here for your case. I've reviewed the affidavit and have noted the circumstances. So I'm going to set bond on count 1 at $5,000. I'm going to reduce bond on count 2 to $500, and bond on count 3 will be $500.
Thank you, sir.
So for a total bond of $6,000. Conditions of release are no contact with Amber Herrera. That same thing applies to you as applies to the gentleman before you. That's direct, indirect, within 500 feet. All of those are no-nos. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. You may not possess or consume any alcoholic beverages.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. And as was said, there is probable cause, as was found by the emergency duty judge. All right, thank you, sir. All right, Nikiera Gervin. Nikuria Gervin.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, you're arrested on a warrant that I actually issued for failure to appear for arraignment. Your bond is at $0. The public defender has been provisionally appointed to represent you. If there's something they need to address, they can get that to the court. Okay?
May I say something, please?
We're not addressing any merits, and anything you say can be used against you. So it's probably best that you not say anything right now because we're not doing anything with your case.
Can you give me 1 second to see what it is, Your Honor?
Sure.
Your Honor, the property that the court has on file is a rental property that her family owns. She no longer lives there, and she also would like me to inform the court that she has a newborn that she breastfeeds, and so if it's possible, if she could get a bond.
Well, we're not doing that today. You know, I mean, I don't know anything about the case because I don't have the case file in front of me. This is for first appearance. The warrant was obviously executed, so there are a lot of circumstances that I'm not prepared to address. So the Public Defender's Office is provisionally appointed, and if this is a matter that needs to be set for hearing on a more expedited basis, we can do that, but I'm not addressing it today. Okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, she has a court date for arraignment, August 29th, 8:45 a.m., quorum 5F.
Okay, next week on the 29th at 8:45, there's already a court date set.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Florentine Diaf, I'm sure I mispronounced that name, 22 CF 2463. Good afternoon, sir. How do you pronounce your name? And your last name? Doof? Okay, sorry, Mr. Doof, I mispronounced your name. All right, sir, you were arrested in this case for burglary of an occupied dwelling and exposure of sexual organs. There is probable cause for the arrest. Officer Jenkins, is there a warrant outstanding for Mr. Doof?
No, sir.
Are there proceedings going? I see the note that has been made on this form. Are there any other proceedings ongoing?
None if I know of. The only thing, he just have an immigration status, that's it.
Okay. All right. The circumstances of this case are unusual. I think the bond is a little low for the burglary of a dwelling charge based on what I read in the arrest affidavit. Two female witnesses described. So for that reason, I am going to, and based on the immigration issue noted by pretrial release, I'm going to set bond on count 1 at $25,000 and bond at count 2 at $5,000, for a total bond of $30,000. And the conditions of bond are you may not return to 5399 West Earl of Bronson Memorial Highway, may not have any contact with Emily Clarice Lorenzo or with Annette Nicole. All right? And you may not possess any weapons or firearms. You may not possess or use any drugs or narcotics without a valid prescription, and must take any prescribed drugs or narcotics as prescribed. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Lonnie Hammond. This is 22 CF 2464.
Yes, Your Honor. He refused.
All right. We will reset Mr. Hammond for tomorrow. His bond and case numbers 22 CF 1882 and 1920 will be revoked. We will handle the first appearance tomorrow. All right, Ronald Hector, 22 MM 1935.
Your Honor, I have a PC argument for this particular case.
Okay. Go ahead.
There's an additional charge. I'm sorry. Actually, it's the next one. I'm sorry, I wrote it by the wrong case. I apologize, Your Honor.
Okay, well, this one is iffy also. I think there's enough, but it's not a strong case for sure.
No, yeah, I agree with you that it's not a strong.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Hector, you were arrested on the charge of misdemeanor battery. I think there is a probable cause, although as I have articulated, I don't think it's a particularly strong case. Don't have any witnesses here on your case, sir. So the question I have for you, you can visit with Ms. Clark about this if you wish, and then give me the answer is, I'm going to have to order you to maintain a separate residence and to have no contact. So do you have another place to go? And Ms. Clark, if you could discuss that with them and let me know.
Yes, Your Honor, he does have somewhere he'd like to stay, and I do see that he qualified for PTR. We were wondering if that could be non-monetary or direct PTR. He's an Uber driver.
It can't be because of the nature of the charge, but I don't mind setting it at a very low amount.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Yeah, based on the nature. So, and that was my intent anyway, based on what I read. So I'm going to, there is probable cause, as I said. It's an unfortunate circumstance. I'm going to set bond at $100 with pretrial release conditions. You may not have any contact, sir, with Avina Hector. You may return to the residence at 2907 Sunstone Drive one time with law enforcement to obtain personal belongings. But otherwise, you may not return to that location, and you, as I said, must maintain a separate residence and have no contact with Avina Hector. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, Luis Iglesias, 22 CF 2465.
This is the one that I have a PC argument for, Your Honor.
Okay? Good afternoon. Go ahead, Ms. Clark.
as far as the possession of a controlled substance as the heroin, there was no presumptive test done for that. There was one for the methamphetamine, but for the additional charge, it was written in on my arrest affidavit. I'm not sure if that's the same for you, but I didn't see where there was a presumptive positive test for heroin.
Okay, let me take a look. Yeah, I think I agree with you, there's no probable cause. I think there was a test. I think it came back positive for meth on both, is the way I'm reading this, but the charge doesn't reflect that.
Yes, I see that there's a drug possession controlled substance, methamphetamines. It's number 2 on my list. And then number 4 says possession controlled substance, heroin.
Right, if you look at the affidavit, it references substances in the plural. So I'm wondering, it's speculation on my part, but I'm wondering if that's what that's referring to. But you're correct, there's no probable cause for heroin. So I agree with you on that point.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you were arrested on the charge of carrying a concealed weapon, possession of controlled substance, methamphetamines, possession of drug paraphernalia. They probably could have charged you with something more serious, but they haven't. Your bonds are $500 on count 1, $1,000 on count 2, $500 on count 3, and I'm going to ROR you on count 4 because there is no probable cause for that. There is probable cause for counts 1, 2, and 3. All right. The bond in case number 2022 MM 1892 is revoked, and you'll be held on zero bond in that case based on the probable cause determination in the current case. Okay. Thank you, sir. All right, Carlos La Madrid. Afternoon, sir. All right. So you're arrested for violation of an injunction for protection in a domestic violence case. There is probable cause for your arrest. You do not qualify for direct PTR. You do qualify for pretrial release with a bond. Ms. Clark, would you speak with Mr. Madrid about his living circumstances because he cannot go back to his parents' residence?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor, he has somewhere else to stay.
All right. All right, sir. As I said, there is probable cause. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000 with pretrial release conditions. Those conditions will include random urinalyses. You may not use any drugs or narcotics without a prescription. Must take any prescribed drugs or narcotics as prescribed. You may not have contact with Fernando La Madrid or Gabriela La Madrid. You may not return to 4101 Spitfire Avenue in Kissimmee. May not possess any weapons or firearms. As I said to other individuals today, no contact means you can't be within 500 feet of their residence, their place of employment, any place they are known to frequent. All right. Anything else, Ms. Clark?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Your Honor, can you repeat the bond?
The bond is $1,000 with PTR conditions.
I got the.
And you got the conditions? Okay, thank you. All right, Jose Montanez, 22 CF 2467.
Your Honor, I also have a PC argument on this case.
All right, go ahead.
He was charged with possession of a controlled substance without prescription. There are no prescription medicines within the affidavit. There is meth, and meth is not prescribed by doctors. There's a dosoxin that's prescribed by doctors, but that's in a pill form, and he's not being accused of having dosoxin, if I'm pronouncing that prescription right.
All right, well, okay, how is, I'm not understanding the argument with regard to the methamphetamine. He's alleged to have possessed the methamphetamine, right? And
Yes. But there's a charge, it's the first one for me, it's possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, and I didn't see any prescription bottle or prescription medicine listed.
all right, it's a novel argument. I think it's illegal. I don't know that methamphetamine is something that is ever prescribed. I don't know.
Yeah,
Does
it's a street drug. There is a dosoxin that is like the medicine they give people to get off of methamphetamine, but it's like an ADHD medicine also, but that's not what he's being charged with.
Right.
That's the only closest medicine I could find.
Okay. Yeah, I do find probable cause for these charges based on the affidavit. He is qualified for direct pretrial release, so I'll grant direct pretrial release. Sir, you're not going to be able to use any drugs or narcotics without a prescription, so if you do, you'll probably violate pretrial release and be back in jail, so be careful about that, okay? Anything else, Ms. Clark?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Joel Perez, and we have a witness here for Mr. Perez. All right, this is case number 2022 CF 2468.
How you doing, Your Honor?
Hey, Mr. Perez, how are you?
I'm good.
How old are you, Mr. Perez?
20.
All right. I see that. Yes, ma'am. Would you raise your right hand to be sworn? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you. Okay, I've read the affidavit. I understand exactly what was going on. And so let me first say there is probable cause for the charge, although the case is not a good one. So tell me your name, ma'am.
My name is Jacqueline Perez.
All right, and Ms. Perez, how do you spell Jacqueline?
It's Jacklyn.
All right, thank you. We're being recorded by a digital court recorder, that's why I asked. All right, so what would you like for me to consider and know with regard to Mr. Perez in terms of release?
Well, first I'd like to say I'm his mother. The problem that occurred was that I believe it was 3 days ago, Joel had to call the cops on my son Joshua. So yesterday while I was at work, I guess something went on with them arguing. And as a retaliation, Joshua called the cops on Joel. And we were in this situation.
So I get all of that. It seems to me, with all due respect, that Joshua is the problem, based on what.
Yeah. Right now he's on secure home.
But where is he, 'cause I have to do conditions of release, so they don't need to be around one another. It does seem to me, according to the affidavit, Joshua was basically abusing a 6-year-old child of yours.
Yeah.
And Mr. Perez stepped in to deal with that in an unfortunate manner. So what are we gonna do?
Well, I mean, Joelle has a job and Joshua's in school, so they barely see each other. It was just this, we was in a situation within moving, so I had to get a, hotel room just so they can all stay there while I went to work.
Mr. Perez, do you have another place you can live? Do you have any friends you can stay with, anything like that?
Yes, sir. I can stay with my father in Kissimmee.
Okay. Do you have a separate father from Joshua?
Yes.
All right. So that'll take care of that.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Mr. Paul, do you have any history to provide to the court with regard to Mr. Perez?
There's juvenile history from 2020. It is grand theft auto, fraudulent use of credit cards, and burglary of commands.
So nothing of a violent nature?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do based on the circumstances, and because I do think that Mr. Perez, based on what I'm reading, and it's obviously not the full picture, but based on what I'm reading, I'm going to grant ROR, and I'm going to do that on the following conditions. Mr. Perez, you cannot have any contact with your half-brother Joshua.
Yes, sir.
As you've heard me say to other people, that means you can't be within 500 feet of him or where he is staying or going to school or working. You cannot communicate with him through your family members. You can talk to your family members, but you can't send messages to or about Joshua through them. No social media or anything like that. Can't possess any weapons or firearms. And you must maintain a separate residence. If you have personal belongings that you need to retrieve from the place you were living, you'll have to go there one time with a law enforcement officer. You can't go by yourself, all right? You have any questions?
No, sir.
All right, does that take care of your concerns, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Shariah, I'm sorry, I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, and I apologize in advance. Shariah Priap? We have a witness here. And how do you pronounce your name?
It's Sharia, Your Honor.
Sharia, and your last name?
Priap.
Priap, okay, I wasn't too far on that last one. Sharia Priap, all right, thank you. Come on up, ma'am. This is case number 22 CF 2469. All right, raise your right hand to be sworn. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, state your name, please.
I'm Ashley Wagner.
Last name again?
Wagner. Ashley Wagner.
Let me look at it. You're a soft talker.
Oh, Oh,
You're well.
it's Wagner, Wagner.
Oh, you pronounce it Wagner?
Wagner.
Okay, all right, thank you. It's Wagner. All right, so, Ms. Priap, you were arrested on the charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. There is probable cause, so I have to determine conditions of release.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Wagner, what would you like for me to consider?
I was trying to drop the charges and not pursue them, actually. And so I came here today. I tried to contact yesterday to, discuss this. At the time when the event happened, I kind of felt obligated to make a statement, written statement, and
Well, we're not here to,
Right,
ultimately,
right.
it's the filing decision of the state attorney's office, all right? And you can decline to cooperate with them if you, that's up to you and whatever counsel you want to have. But for today's purposes, the issue is what kind of conditions of release I should impose because Ms. Priap is entitled to a bond. So are you two wanting to live together or are
I'm comfortable with that.
you are
I
comfortable?
am comfortable with that, yes.
The arrest affidavit, she says she put a gun to your head. You're comfortable?
I am comfortable.
Mr. Paul, you have questions you want to place on the record?
Yeah, if I can inquire. So are you afraid of Ms. Priap?
No, I'm not.
And what's your relationship?
I'm her wife.
And how long have you been married?
I've been married about 4 or 5 months,
Okay. And how long have you known her?
about a year and a half.
Okay. You have no fear living in the same residence?
Correct, I don't.
Do you want to have contact with her?
I do.
Are you pursuing separation or divorce
Not
as
at
of
this time,
today?
or not right now.
Are there, and how long have you been at, you live at 5661
At 61.
Vigo Loop? And how long have you been there with her?
About a month and a half, approximately.
Are there other weapons or firearms in that residence?
No.
Are there other weapons you would have access to? And we talked before this proceeding, right? And your intent is to ask the state attorney's office not to pursue these charges?
Right.
No further questions?
All right. Ma'am, I have a question before I let Ms. Clark ask you questions. I read something about a child. Is that your child or a child in?
It's my biological child.
Okay, and how old is the child?
He's 6.
And was he present for this?
He was not present.
All right. Does Ms. Priap interact appropriately with your son?
Yes.
Has she, do you have any concern of her inappropriately disciplining or harming your son?
No.
Do you share custody of your
I
son?
share custody with another parent, so it's kind of like a half and half, where he's with me half the time and then he's at another residence half
All
the
right.
time.
Is the other parent aware of this circumstance?
Well, not yet because it's so new, but yeah.
All right. You have an informal sharing arrangement, or is it?
It was done it was done like formally, but not like we didn't have to go to court and all that kind of stuff.
But is there a court order addressing?
I don't, like, you mean like restrictions on?
You said you didn't go to court, but sometimes people enter stipulated orders that get filed in court without the parties having actually gone to court. So is there a court order?
Not that I'm aware of, that there's like for that.
If I ordered that Ms. Priap have no contact with your child, that would mean the child had to reside with the other parent while this case was pending. Is that doable?
Yes. Would it be okay for the child to stay like with my parents too sometimes? Like that's fine as long as he's
That's
not.
up to you. That's up
Okay.
to the parents.
The other parents. Okay. Okay.
But as long as the child was somewhere safe,
Okay.
that would be fine. All right, Ms. Clark, you can ask any questions you wish based on my questions or Mr. Paul's questions. You're on mute, Ms. Clark.
Sorry, Your Honor, I heard some questions. There was some noise in our background. I just wanted to verify that there was no history of domestic violence between the two of you,
No, there's no history of that.
and you have access to a cell phone?
I do.
Okay, and then, Your Honor, I just wanted to request on behalf of my client that she could have supervised contact with the child, therefore the child could still stay with the mother, but she could be in the presence of the child if it was supervised by the mother.
All right, I appreciate the argument, but I'm going to decline to do that. I mean, all of this may be short-lived anyway, but on my watch, I want to make sure everyone is protected to the extent they should be protected. Any other questions, Ms. Clark?
No, Your Honor.
Officer Jenkins, I have a question. Can I input, it says that Ms. Preup is qualified for pretrial release conditions with a bond. Can I order mental health conditions?
Can you, let me find out 1 second. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So based on the circumstance, they are very serious charges and circumstances. The circumstances also include what Ms. Wagner has testified about today. And hopefully the circumstances aren't as bad as they appear on paper. But under the totality of the circumstances, including what Ms. Wagner testified about today, I'm going to set bond at $500 with pretrial release conditions, and those will include mental health pretrial conditions. Ms. Preup may have no hostile contact with Ms. Wagner, may share a residence, may not possess any weapons or firearms. So if there are any weapons or firearms in the home, those have to be removed before she comes home. I guess law enforcement would have the firearm that was taken in this incident. I'm going to order that the minor residing in the home reside outside the home, either with his other parent or with other suitable relatives that the parents jointly agree. I'm going to order that Ms. Preup have no contact with that child. Ms. Wagner, what's the child's name?
Xander.
All right, no contact with Xander. Any other conditions, Mr. Paul?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Clark, anything else?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Wagner. All right, and then we have Dalton Topriani. 22 MM 1937. All right. Mr. Topriani, you were charged with battery, misdemeanor, domestic violence. There is probable cause. I don't have a witness here. Sir, do you have another place to stay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you going to have any, well, let me ask you this. It looks like you share children in common with the alleged victim, is that correct?
Yes, sir, 3 of them.
All right, do you have Do you have family other than the alleged victim here in in Central Florida?
No, Your Honor. I moved here with my wife. All her family's here, and all my family's in Vermont, in a different state. I only
Okay.
have friends here I could go stay with.
You do or you don't?
I do have friends here I could stay with. I just can't get a hold of any of my family members to bond me out.
Okay.
Nobody will answer their phone.
Okay.
I've never.
These friends, are they close friends or more like acquaintances?
They're kind of acquaintances. It's people I've met during my line of work, being a mechanic,
Okay. How long have you lived here?
since 2018.
Okay, you've been here a while. All right, here's what I'm going to do. You qualify for pretrial release conditions with the bond. Based on what I read, I'm going to set your bond at $500 with pretrial release conditions. That's a pretty low bond in the grand scheme of things. I'm going to order that you have no contact with Brittany, I don't know if it's Myers or Myries. No contact with her, except you may have contact through a third person for purposes of visitation with your children and things of that sort, okay? But you can't have that communication directly at this point in time. I've appointed the Public Defender's Office temporarily to assist you. If those conditions need to be modified in any way, they can file a motion with the court, okay? And then the division judge would address that. You can't possess any weapons or firearms. As I said before, the no contact is, you may have heard me say this with regard to other people, but no contact means direct or indirect. You can't be within 500 feet and so forth. So if you're visiting with your children, someone else is going to have to go pick them up and bring them to you and that sort of thing, okay? I said no weapons or firearms. Anything else, Mr. Paul?
One second, Your Honor, he does have something else to say. Oh, I'm sorry, you were talking to the state attorney?
I was asking Mr. Paul, and then I'll ask you as well.
Your Honor, I don't know if I missed, I might have missed it about separate residences or.
I didn't technically say separate residences. I said no contact. So yes, maintain a separate residence. That's why I asked him if he had another place to stay. Yeah, thank you.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Clark?
No, he would like me to stress that he doesn't have a way to get a hold of his family members to pay a bond.
Well, I've set a pretty low bond, and maybe one of these acquaintances can help. I mean, I can't make family members pick up the phone, but he's not eligible for direct pretrial release, and I'm not willing to do ROR. So I've done about as much as I can do for Mr. Taprani.
I understand, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Your Honor, that was $500 with pretrial release
Correct.
conditions? Thank you.
Correct. And then we have Mr. Proenza again. We had him yesterday. Are these different charges?
Add-on charges, Your Honor.
Add-on charges?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Proenza, good afternoon. This is 22 CF 2471. The state has added a couple of charges to you that arose, to your case that arose out of the same circumstances we discussed yesterday. You've also been arrested on the charge of possession of a stolen credit card and fraudulent use of a credit card 2 or more times to obtain goods or money worth $100 or more. There is probable cause for those charges. Your bonds on these charges, I'm going to reduce. I don't recall, though, what we set yesterday. Do you happen to know, Ms. Clark?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
Madam Clerk, do you recall?
I am looking it up.
Pretrial release said she can, get it for us if we could hold on briefly.
Okay, and Madam Clerk's looking too, so we'll see who's fastest.
I have my money on the clerk.
No pressure. So we have 2 cases for yesterday, if I am not mistaken.
Uh-oh.
We have,
Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, for the first 2 bonds charges he had yesterday, count 1 was 1,000, count 2 was 500, and then for the petty theft and burglary, petty theft, count 1 was 250, burglary was 3,500.
All right. All right, so on this one, I'm going to stay the bond at 2,500 on count 1. I'm going to reduce bond on count 2 to $150. So that'll be a total of $2,650 on these charges. All right, the conditions will be like yesterday, no return to 1904 Sunny Street, 1717 North Main Street, 1606 North Main Street. Those are all in Kissimmee. And no contact with Andreas Diaz Menendez. Okay. Anything further, Ms. Clark?
No, Your Honor, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, you guys have a good one.
All right, thank you, Mr. Paul. Take care, Officer Jenkins. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, we're adjourned for the day.